Who is Dr. Joe Dispenza and what is his work all about? Well, a lot of people get into Dr. Joe Dispenza's work because they are looking to heal themselves or to manifest something or to just make a better life for themselves. Well, how do they do that doing his work? Well, it starts with, I guess you can start by watching a video with an interview with him where he talks about his past and how he kind of got into what it is that he does. So his story is that he was riding a bike one time and he got hit by an SUV and he injured his spine, and doctors said that he was going to have to get some kind of metal something put into his spine, or he would maybe be able to walk again if he got that in there. But he pretty much said, no, I'm not going to do that. He was paralyzed, and he just figured he could heal himself by himself. And that is exactly what he did. He just had nothing better to do than to just sit around all day and close his eyes and focus on trying to rebuild his spine. And he worked at it and worked at it. And then I believe it was like 9 weeks later, all of a sudden, he just he knew that was his moment. He just got up, he walked, and then like a couple days later, he was back at work. I guess he was a chiropractor, he is, I guess. And he was back at work, and it was like it hadn't happened, and he's been fine since. He's been walking and doing everything that Dr. Joe does. So he was able to heal himself with his mind. And people say that's crazy. But it's really not crazy when you think about it, because you can negative thoughts can make you sick, right? Because people will say, oh, I'm thinking all this negative stuff and it's making me feel worse and making me feel down, and your negative thoughts are bringing you down. Well, why can't the opposite be true? Positive thoughts bring you up. So they can heal you. They talk about how stress, doctors say stress makes you unhealthy. Well, the stress is putting a stress in your body, and you're worrying and all this stuff. It brings your body down and makes your body less able to function. So why not think the opposite of that and want to heal your body? And you can do it. And you may not believe it. I did not believe it at first. My husband was the one that introduced me to Dr. Joe, and I didn't believe a lot of it. And he showed me some testimonials where people like, oh, I had cancer, now it's gone, and I was paralyzed, and now I'm walking, and like all these different things. And I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. But you kind of think, oh, are these people just like putting it on because they're trying to sell something? I just didn't know what it's all about. And so he had bought me if you go on to Dr. Joe Dispenza's website, he has some kind of introductory courses. One's called The Formula, and one is called the Progressive Intensive Workshop. The Formula is a good place to start. It's a little less expensive if you want to buy that one. The Intensive Progressive is more expensive, but it's very worth it if you really want to dive into his work. So I did it, and I was still kind of nah. So I went to one of his workshops, and that's when it really, really hit me. And that's when I saw two blind people see. I saw people getting up out of their wheelchairs. I saw people throwing their crutches down, and I was like, what the heck is going on? And then I healed myself. I was like, okay, there's something to this, that you can just shut off your mind, think better thoughts, surrender to the universe, and you will heal. If you look into any of Einstein's stuff, he's just like, it's the law. If you put something out into the universe and you believe that it's for real, it'll come back and it'll manifest itself. People are manifesting houses and cars and trips and money randomly showing up in their bank accounts. I know it sounds super crazy, but it's for real. And a year ago, I would have said, you're stupid, you're crazy, you're kooky, this stuff is not for real, but it is, it really is. So like I was saying, if you want to try to start getting into his work, where do you start? Well, like I said, the formula is good if you're just very basic. It's got some very basic meditations in there. If you have access to Gaia, he's got a series called Rewired, and he tells you all about why this works. He tells you why your brain has taught you to be the way you are and the person you are and feel the way you are, and how to break that habit and become a new person and have the life you want and have the life you live, and to heal yourself. And the Rewired is really good. It doesn't have meditations in it, but it's a really good introductory, and it's got a lot of visuals and stuff, so it really helps a skeptic, I guess you could say, to really get into it. If you want to read his books, that's also a really good place. Some people aren't into books, but his books are really good. I started with You Are the Placebo. He talks about you are the placebo. You think about like these drug trials that they do, and usually the placebo works just as good as the regular drug because people believe that they're actually getting the drug that they're being told they're getting, and they heal. And then at the end they're like, no, you must be mistaken. I'm feeling better. I must have really gotten it. And it's the same thing with our body. We can teach ourselves and tell ourselves that we're sick and we're never going to heal, or, I'm poor and I'm never going to get anywhere in life, or I'm stupid and I'm not smart. You can keep telling yourself that stuff, and that's how your life is going to be. But if you change it and you tell yourself, hey, I'm smart, I'm rich, I'm healthy, I'm happy. It sounds like, oh, you just do it. It's different than just saying, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy. Just saying that every day. You really have to dig into your brain and get in there and rewire it out. Now, I know we all want the easy way out, and that's why oftentimes we just go to the doctor and we say, oh, I don't feel well, give me a pill so it can make me better. We want the easy, quick way. We live in a society where everything is just instant, and that's what we want. We want it instant. But you have to work at it. And I'm sorry to say that. You have to work at it. You have trained your body to be this way. You have trained your mind to feel this way. You need to untrain it. Now, I do have to tell you, if it took you 30 years to become this person, it's not going to take you 30 years to get back. It just takes a little longer than you would probably hope. It's not going to just be one day and I'm done. It could be weeks, it could be months, it could be years if you don't believe it. If you believe it, you truly, truly believe it in your heart, it'll happen much quicker. And that is really key, but that's what's hard, is just training yourself. And that's why a lot of people that get into Dr. Joe's work really do it every single day, because they realize when they do it every single day, they're training their body and their mind to think and believe something completely different. And they're like, wow, my life is really changing. And then the more they do it, the better they get at it. And the quicker they actually start seeing things changing in their lives. And it's really amazing. But going back to the books, You Are the Placebo is a really good book. That's a good starting point. He's got some meditations on his website that you can do along with that. And then the book after that is Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. That's another really, really good one. And he's got an awesome meditation that goes along with that one. You don't have to do those meditations if you don't. But once you get into the books, you're going to realize, I want to do these meditations because I want to change my life. And then there is Becoming Supernatural, and that's his more kind of advanced thing. And he gets really, really deep into some of the science. He's got science to prove that people are healing themselves. They're changing their DNA. They're changing their blood. They're healing the people that were blind. They're showing their eye scans with all the, it's all messed up, and now all of a sudden their scans are clear and they're like, yeah, I can see now. So he's got a lot of science. He even has science on his website if you want to look that up too, to kind of, some of you are like, oh, I don't believe all this, but if you see the science in front of you, you can believe that. And he has some of that science, brain scans and stuff in his books. So really look into that if you're into that. Look online on YouTube. If you look up Stories of Transformation, you can see testimonies, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of testimonies of people that have been transformed. I have one myself that I was healed too, and you can watch mine if you want. So starting off in meditations, where do you start? If you've kind of gotten into stuff, or maybe you don't even want to dig into the books, you kind of know a little bit about them, where do you start? What meditations do you start on? There's a lot of people that kind of go on YouTube and try to find some meditations on there. I have never done one, but I've listened to a couple of them. And people have just kind of edited some of them together. I think maybe for copyright reasons, they just kind of edit them together. I wasn't feeling it when I was listening to it. I was like, no, this just doesn't feel right, because he has a science behind how he does his meditations, of how he has you try to turn off your mind and get into the blackness and start tuning into the universe and things. And he also has a science behind the music that he plays, of the different binaural beats and different things that he has going on in there. And so I find that his meditations on his website are the best ones to get. Now, some of you may not be willing to pay that price. He's got some older ones, I believe, on Amazon that you can buy that are cheaper. But he has said sometimes he goes back to his older meditations and he's like, oh, I don't like that one anymore, and he'll update it. And I think those are the ones that go to Amazon. You might look and see if there's some that just sound good to you, but some that I definitely suggest that you use for a starter meditation. The first one, it's kind of long if you're not ready to do an hour long, but I'm telling you, when you do the hour long ones, your mind really gets shut off, and those are key to really tuning in the universe. If you're just doing 5, 10, 15-minute little meditations every day, you're not training your brain really to think the way you need to. You're like, you know, it's like if you were training to, I don't know, learn to swing a baseball, you know. If you just spend 5 minutes a day doing this, it's not that great. But if you spend, you know, 30 minutes a day, hour a day, really practicing. It could be the same with like working out. Let's use that for instance. Working out, 5 minutes a day lifting weights. That's going to take you a while to get those muscles, right? But if you do like a full hour workout, you really start to feel it, and you start like, oh man, I'm getting muscular, I'm getting strong. So it's kind of the same thing. You could just do your little 5, 10-minute meditations a day, but I just don't think that's going to cut it. You really need to get in deeper. So this one, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, it goes along with the book. You don't have to read the book in order to do that meditation. But that one, he really, really steps you through a process, and he has you let go of an emotion and see yourself in a future version of yourself. And it's really intense, and it really helps me kind of let go of some emotions of the past. He doesn't have you relive the past at all. He just has you think of, like, let's say, for example, you want to get rid of anger. You think of anger, and you're like, how do you feel when you get angry? Oh, I feel this way, and I don't want to feel that way anymore. So you're not thinking of an instance that made you angry. You're just thinking of anger in general, and you just let that go, and you think of what would your life be like if you weren't angry anymore. So it's a really good meditation, and that helps kind of clear out some of that stuff to help you see yourself or become a better self of yourself in the future, or bring that future to you. Another one that's good is synchronizing your heart and your brain. He's really, really big on opening your heart and heart coherence. I really believe that opening your heart is key to trying to gain what you want, because when you open up your heart, you lift yourself up and you can feel gratitude, which he says is the ultimate state of receiving. You can feel that so much easier and so much better, that it's easier to see yourself as healed. It's easier to see yourself with more money. It's easier to see yourself with that house, that new house. It's easier to see yourself with that future spouse or something, whatever it is that you're seeking. You open up your heart, you can see it better and you can access it better. And he says it's actually a magnet. They've measured your heart, and it is a magnet. It's a very strong magnet, and it's a magnet because it's drawing energy to it, and that energy is what makes you're grabbing energy. You could be taking negative energy in, and that's what makes you negative. If you bring in positive energy, it makes you positive. Synchronizing the heart and the brain, he says once your heart and your brain are coherent together, then it's easier, because your heart can be fighting with your brain. Your brain's telling you one thing, your heart's saying no, and they're fighting. You want them coherent and working together. A lot of his heart ones are really good too, if you want to look into those. The generous present moment is also a good kind of starter one, but a lot of people find that one difficult because he wants you, the key to doing a lot of this is being in the present moment. You don't want to be thinking of the past, because the past is what got you to where you are today. You don't want to be looking to the future. Now, he does talk about seeing your future and bringing it to you. But your future, you could be thinking about, oh, I got to do this next week, or when am I ever going to pay off my house, or different things like that. And he says your future is a copy of your past. When you look at your tomorrow is probably going to be exactly like your yesterday. For most people, your yesterday is the same as tomorrow or today. But he wants you to be in the present moment, okay? The present moment doesn't mean like I'm thinking about my problems in the present moment. It's truly like shutting off your mind and saying, this is what I'm doing in this moment. I'm with this person. I'm sitting right here in my house. And whatever it is that you're doing in the present moment, you're not thinking about the past. You're not thinking about the future. You're not thinking what I want to do, what I'd rather do than be here. You're not thinking about that. So the generous present moment helps you try to shut all that off and be in the present moment. But some people struggle with it a little bit because you do shut your mind off a lot to where your mind starts to wander a lot. And I have a video where I kind of tell you how to focus on not focusing on things that are going through your head. It is hard to shut off your mind, but if you're into that and want to learn to shut off your mind more, then that's a good one. He's got a morning and evening meditation that are really good. It helps you wake up. Those are short. He has a short one in the morning and a short one in the evening, and it helps you just kind of start your day and think about what you want to do or how you want to feel during your day. And the evening one, he has you rethink your day and what you did well during the day. He doesn't want you to dwell on what was wrong. And what you think of before you go to sleep processes in the middle of the night. So if you do this right before bed, and you're thinking about, okay, that's, you know, even though I didn't do this today, I did this and I did this and I felt this way. And you look at the positive things that you did, and it kind of processes in the middle of the night and helps you kind of rewire your brain to start thinking in that positive way in the middle of the night. Go Love is also another good one. That one's only 30 minutes long. I believe that you can actually get that one on YouTube. I don't think you have to get on his website, and it's another one to just be able to open up your heart. Falling in Love with Your Body is another good one. That's another one of the heart ones. If you're really willing to get into the chakras, or what he calls the energy centers, that is really important. When you get more into his work and you attend his workshops, you can get up to 10 blessing of the energy center meditations. And I think it's because blessing your energy centers or balancing them is very, very important. Because I have a video on this where I talk about your energy centers and how each energy center of your body, if you're not aware of that, you kind of heard chakra or whatever it is, each one of those, you have 7 of them within your body, and each one is connected to different parts of your body. So for example, your heart is connected to like your lungs and your heart and your breast and different things like that. So if you happen to have, let's say, problems with your breast, then that could be connected to your heart center. If you happen to have a thyroid problem, that could be connected to your throat center. And so by doing the blessings of the energy centers, you work on balancing these and tuning into the energy of them to kind of think of it like an out-of-tune guitar. The guitar is out of tune. You want to tune the note to an E. It's like, it's off, but then you went, and you got it perfect. That's what you want these centers. They could be off a little bit, and you want them to be nice and centered. And that's what you're doing on this, and you want to balance all of them. And he's said that he's seen people come out of that meditation and some problem is gone because they've balanced that particular energy center where that problem lies. And so blessing of the energy center 1, if you want to start with that one, that's great and it's simple. I don't know if he talks about where the energy centers are, so if you want to go ahead and like look online and look up chakra locations, or you can watch my video too about the blessings of the energy centers and actually show you the locations and explain it a little bit more. You can look at that. And like I said, these do cost money on his website, but you know, you're welcome to try to look around online if you're still not sure about digging in and investing money into them. But we have invested the money and it is well worth the investment, and we have no more medical bills anymore. So that's why we don't care about spending the money on this, because it has helped us heal so many things that we are willing to put out the money, and we feel so great that we want to just keep doing it. It's like, you know, you blow money to go to the bar and drink away your cares. Why don't you go buy a $35 meditation that you can go do and you feel even better than you would doing that, you know? Or, you know, spending a whole bunch of money blowing it a night on the town or going out to a movie or something. It's a small little fee to pay when you realize how wonderful you will feel after doing it. You might have just a short-lived, wonderful time spending that money that you would have spent doing something else. Spend that little bit of money on this meditation, which you have indefinitely, and you can do that as many times as you want to. So I really, really, really recommend that you do invest in some meditation on his website. And those few that I mentioned: Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, Blessing of the Energy Centers, Synchronizing the Heart and the Brain, the morning and the evening one, and then like the Go Love. I know that's on his website, but I think you can get that one online. I think that one is free. And then there's also another one called the Generating series, and those are only 15-minute meditations. It's just teaching you to generate gratitude and love and a couple of different other emotions. And those are short and simple. You can buy it all in a package and get all of them, or you can buy them individually, and then they're a little cheaper if you want to try those, if you're not into trying to do hour-long meditations or whatever it is. And, you know, you don't have to do all of his meditations, but I do have to tell you, I've done other guided meditations, other apps and stuff, but his are just, there's something about his, it's like his voice. Okay, his voice is going to be weird. If you've never done his meditation, his voice is going to be weird at first. You're like, why does he sound like that and everything? But it's all part of it. And his meditations, his voice, his music, the way he guides you through it, it's so much more intense than a lot of these other meditations that I've done. I found ones every once in a while, you know, or you can do some on your own if you're willing to do that, but some people don't know how to meditate, and so he doesn't even like to call it meditation either, but some people don't know how to do it, and so the guided ones are really well. There's a couple apps that I've checked out. There's Aura, Better Sleep, Headspace I've never done, but I've heard great things about it. The Better Sleep one is actually a really good one for kids. It's got some kids' meditations, few minutes long or whatever on those. And a lot of those have like a 7-day trial on them if you want to try those out and see what you think. Breath work is a big thing. If you haven't gotten into that yet, he has some of his meditations have breath work in it. Breath work is really, 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 really good. Some of you may have heard of Wim Hof and some other breathing techniques like Kundalini yoga and different things like that. They integrate breath work in there, and that breath work is really healing because breath is life. Without our breath, we're not life. We're born with our first breath, we die with our last breath. That's our life. And as a person, we breathe too fast, and that causes us to be stressed. If we slow down and we breathe slower, it helps our body to move slower and to not be in that fight or flight stress mode that we're always in. And so breathing really helps. He does have you just do calm breathing in there, but he's got some more advanced ones that help you to like activate your pineal gland. There's a whole nother science behind the pineal gland and everything in there. So lots of things you can do to get into his work. But like I said, watch interviews with him to see. He's got a lot of just interviews talking about the work, but a good introductory video to watch just about his past story. Or like I said, Rewired. The Formula, Intensive Progressive Workshop, read his books, do simple meditation. He does have a couple of, I think he's got an Instagram page, and I know he has a Facebook page. You can maybe join one of those, and you can just kind of see what people are saying about some of the different stuff, and you can ask questions if you start getting into that. That's a really good place to kind of start and ask people. You can even ask people if you're still questioning, like, well, what's a good meditation to start with? What should I do first? Or what did you guys start with? Because I started with the Intensive Progressive, and my husband started by seeing an interview with Dr. Joe online. It just popped up in his feed one day, and he was able to heal himself just by doing the progressive workshop. And I was like, whoa, what the heck happened to you? And he let me do it. So it was just amazing. But everybody's kind of got a different thing. I think most people probably find him on YouTube, and that's probably why you're here looking for this right now too. So let me know if you have any other questions. I don't know if I can answer all of them because I'm not like an expert or anything. I'm just sharing the knowledge that I have, and I would like to share it with you because I want to share this wonderful, incredible information, experience, whatever you want to call life-changing stuff that has happened to me. It's just, I want to share it with everybody because I want everybody to be able to experience this because it is amazing and wonderful, and as I said, life-changing.